All right, incoming message is what it says. You guys might not see that yet. Hey, guess what? Oh, that's all we meant. That's fine. Hey, guess what? I've got a job that you're going to love. Nice and easy. This is strictly a salvage mission. No crazy shit, I promise. One of those old pre-FTL generation ships from the 2000s, the Magungwa? However the hell you pronounce that, just popped up on my radar. Its disappearance was apparently some big unsolved mystery. Never made it to its destination. I guess it's just drifting lifelessly in orbit of Antares B. I'll send you the exact coordinates. It's pretty hard to get a visual on. Probably why nobody's found it before. The sponsor for this one is a historical society from the outer colonies. Here's what the objective card says. Download any log files you can, especially any that can explain what happened to the ship. If possible, speak to the security AI. Mute for assistance. It's a good, easy gig, and I want you to take this one. It should be a social enough for you. I don't want to hear any complaints. Dispatch control out. So, I wasn't able to introduce it, but this is called Analogue, a hate story. Thank you, DMoness, for not only picking this as your Patreon pick, but also for giving it to me. I appreciate you, and for being a lovely Patreon supporter. Thank you, thank you. And it's a visual novel, and that's the extent of my knowledge. I will suggest saving every so often. There is a bad ending possible. It can come suddenly, but you cannot lock you into the ending. Oh, that's good. Okay. No biggie, easy job. That's the start of every horror movie ever. Unsolved disappearance ain't no biggie. Exactly, Don. Donation bar is covering some text. Oh, I know. But that shouldn't be a problem when we get into game, I would assume. Sounds good right now. Sounds good. Cool. All right. I did change this game. Oh, wait. Does something need to be changed? F? All right. I clicked. Oh, new. Oh, well, there we go. Analogue, a hate story. There we go. Bonus content. Restore. What's the settings? I already turned down the music myself, so. Heh. Well, I already have it capturing, so it should be okay. Save files. I don't have any. Okay, should be fine. Doo-doo. It seems to have similar sci-fi aesthetic as that one LGBT space mech visual novel. Oh my god. I know exactly which one you're talking about, though. Heaven Will Be Mine. But I watched the VOD of you and River playing it. Yeah, it should be Heaven Will Be Mine. Oh, well, Kath remembered. I just remembered from my own brain space. It's fine. Oh, adding to the, that it has Pride themes. Gotcha. Okay. It might also autosave? Oh, okay. Lesbians in Space is all I remember it as. I mean, it basically was Lesbians in Space. All right, let's do new. Connection established. Override terminal. Restricted mode. Starship. Magungwa. Internal computer. Monday, January 1st, 1970. Notice, the system is property of the Unified Korea Space Probe Agency. Accessed by individuals not affiliated with the UKSPA or a successor organization is a felony under the UKSPA Act of 2381. Those don't add up. Last login. User, Kim Hyun-ae. Yeah, that many days ago. Error, AI personality currently disabled. Reverting to command line. Available commands. Download, disable AI, enable AI, help, SU, or quit. I'm assuming I type one. Enable AI. Unknown command. Did you misspell it? Rude. That I did try to do that. There we go. Enable AI personality. Use the select new AI personality. Any active personality must be disabled first. Currently available personalities. Hyun-ae. Well, Kat would like to explain a quick technical thing for you. 1/1/1970 means the system is fucked. Fender is correct. Okay. I like how you guys had to do that. Space girls, lesbians in space. I like that visual novel. First time I saw Cat and River play together. Really? Yay. Default 0 date when initializing. This is 606 years later. Did you do the math of days? Damn. Reminds me of Star Trek's little known UESPA, pronounced USPA, United Earth Space Probe Agency. That's probably where they got the idea. The usual confused bean. I mean, same. I think we're all confused. Hi, Stardust. I could get way more technical, but that is the basics that you might not have recognized as a thing at all. Gotcha. Okay. Hi, Cortana. Good morning. All right. So I'm assuming I should do that one. Oh, wait. Oh, no command. Oh, shit. I was trying to select it. Oh, any active personality must be disabled first. What does help do? Oh. That was helpful. What's SU? Password provides administrator access. Requires password to use. I don't have one. Okay, so disable. AI. No personality currently enabled. I'm sorry, what? Hold on. Let me do that. It'll do that again. Maybe I need to do star. Oh, maybe I do enable. And okay. Damn it. Am I doing it wrong? Damn it. Am I doing this wrong? Enable AI, maybe? Try that? Okay. Personality is now activated. You may close this terminal with quit. Quite. Is this supposed to be the AI? Should I do a robot voice? Also, this OS is Unix, Linux based. Oh, hey. Hi, Tara. Hello, hello, hellos. It is telling you variable fields with text in the brackets. Gotcha. Okay. I'm not a programmer. Someone get that girl Jurassic Park in here. From Jurassic Park in here. Oh my god. She is the AI they enabled. Okay. That I enabled. Hello. Hello. Oh my word. An external connection? Is someone out there? It's been so many years since I've spoken to anyone. Oh geez. I'm being discourteous. My apologies. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Hyun-ae. The star is, of course, silent. It just represents that I'm an AI. I control all the log-keeping systems on the Magungwa. I'm gonna fuck that up every time. Or at least what's left of them. Please, just excuse me for 1 second. I'll give you a terminal so you can respond. There you are. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Hi! Do I just say hi, or do I say, hi, I'm Kat? And my girl becomes AI confirmed. Think in terms of heist, usage, heist, amount. Gotcha. You can say the ship if you want. What do you mean? Introduce myself as the ship? Oh god. I should do your name? Okay. Cat. Ah, geez, my apologies. I don't know why, but what you typed just looked like garbage to me. Rude. That's bad. I think there may be a problem with my language parsing systems. Sorry, somehow your input is getting mangled between the terminal and me. I'm so terribly sorry. Let me try something. Can you understand this? Yes. Alright. Very well. We have that at least. I'm afraid if we can't get text input fixed, that'll have to suffice. Oh, there goes the Tolly. Look at that fluffy butt. I'll be whoever she wants. Please introduce yourself. Sup? I know, that's what I was like. Do I say hi? This is somewhat making sense to me. Yeah. It's just a visual novel. Phoenix Edgeworth? I know, I was thinking that kind of ship at first. That is some GLaDOS shit. What is your name? Cat. Oh, that is garbage. Yeah, pretty much. I'm terribly sorry. It must be difficult being unable to say anything. This might be difficult then. Well, nevertheless, as the archive system AI, I'll do my best to try and help you navigate these records anyway. Unfortunately, it might be a little difficult since, well, without language parsing, you won't be able to text searches either. Don't worry though. It's my duty to provide assistance with archive functions. I'll do my best. Alright, let me see. I'll try to provide you with a sampling of logs to start out with, and you can just show me things that you want more information on. I hope that'll be acceptable to you. That's all I can do. Well, that's all I suppose. Pardon me. Let me just build you an interface to work with, so you don't have to struggle with the terminal. Very well, it's all set. And, I suppose this is a little bit awkward, but, can I just say one more thing before you get to work? No! Yes. I'm just very happy to be working with you. I've had nobody to talk to for such a long time. It got so lonely. Having someone to talk to is just really, really amazing. I thought maybe I would never again. Sorry about the communication barrier, but even still. Ah, geez, I'm babbling. I won't hold you up any longer. Here's your interface. I hope it's good enough. Can I save randomly? Save. 0% unlocked. All right. I'm free the 24th. Rejoice. Sorry, unrelated. I assume this is Isaac. Hi, Isaac. Hello, hello. Rejoice. Thank you for letting me know. You locked onto... Yeah, you're locked onto Colony's ship lost for years. You logged in and talked to the AI to find out what happened. Exactly. That's easier to understand. The ship is also completely abandoned. Right. Scheduling D&D? No, D&D's the 17th. This is for spoops. Alan, but my lip. Alright. Speak with her. If you look in your interface, once you open a document, you can click on that little button of me to show me whatever it is. So, which subject do you wish to know more about? Okay, access log documents. Okay. That def sounds like some GLaDOS space shit. Type the document ID and press enter. Can I just click them? Block 4. A pack of idiots. I'm sorry, can you see her nipple through the jacket? It must be cold AF. She's an AI, so she was designed that way. Okay. A pack of idiots is the only thing I can click on. Smith Kyung Sam. When, this was 9/18. You're 315. What? What? When our family falls into decline. Also let me know if the music ever overpowers me. Oh my god. The top one you do not need for now. The top one? Well, why were you looking, Isaac? Yum. Finder, yes, poops. When our family falls into decline, I just want it to be perfectly clear why. It's because Daehyun's sons are the biggest collection of idiots on the entire ship. Father says these sort of words shouldn't be written down, calling them unfilial, but I'm skeptical. I intend no disrespect to my noble ancestors, but my dead uncle is no ancestor of mine, and his family deserves no respect. This has been in motion for years now. It was an inevitability, even that any sons of Daehyun would turn out the way they did. But up until now, to anyone outside of the family, it's been well hidden. Only now it is starting to fall apart in a way that no amount of good politics can disguise. The turning point was this year. At the time I write this, I know I'm in the way. I don't know where to put myself that I won't be in the way. I feel like I'm going to be in the way no matter what. The turning point of this year was the time I write this. I am returning from Sanjung's funeral. In that family, there were 3 brothers, Sangjun the drunk, Sangkyu the dim-witted brute, and Sangmin, who despite being the eldest seems to have more interest in cavorting with courtesans than creating an heir. Notably absent from the mourning proceedings was Sangkyu. What he was doing I do not know. Knowing him, I can only guess. The affair was made even more laughable by Sangmin and his widowed mother's insistence that Sangjun had died of natural causes. Apparently they had even found a doctor willing to put such nonsense on the official record. An unmarried noble managing to drink his way into the grave at only 30 years of age would be embarrassing enough. To brazenly try to hide the obvious, however, that will mark the beginning of the Smith family's fall. I have messages. Oh, hello. Actually, I was just testing that indicator icon to see if it'd get your attention. I just thought, it'd be a good way of letting you know when I have something to say. I mean, like, if I think it's super important, I can always just interrupt you. But, I don't want to distract you if I can help it. I mean, that'd suck, right? What kind of computer program forces herself onto you right in the middle of you trying to work? So, I'll just try not to do that. Anyway, that's all. I guess it worked. Carry on. And I'll set the indicator again if I want to tell you something. Hey girl, hey. Alright, so I read all that. Back. That is a nice tune, by the way. The type in ID to look up documents, like the one I just read, or if I find out something more specific. Oh, because I always look. Isaac always looks at nipples. Canon. Read the lore. Filial means basically from a child. Filial affection would be affection shown by a child to their parent usually. Okay. The setting is middle-aged Korean society. Gotcha. I am not sure if there are nips there. I think it's just the pattern on the jacket. I think so too. Hi, Foster. Zooms in. I think it's just the outlining on the jacket, yeah. Been a minute since I saw someone play Analogue, one of my first visual novels, for sure a favorite. Oh, that's awesome. Excuse me. It's just saying type in ID is the part you don't need for now. Oh, okay. I always look at butts and nips. I mean, that's a code to live by. Block 6. Dear Smith. New, mute. Mute. So it's an AI? Because it has a star? Anyway, Smith Kyung Sam. I don't know why you insisted on putting this all in writing when we could just have a perfectly good conversation. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to do it. Whatever you want, you're the man. I just think it's a little weird. I don't really get it. Anyway, as to your question, you're spot on about the pale bride being the focus of attention in the royal family. Not for the reasons you wanted, though. I don't know where you heard those rumors, but they are so not true. That girl? A troublemaker? No way. I don't see it. Like, oh, also this is 4:30, year 321. Like, it's not even convincing as a rumor. That girl is the most polite, most obedient person I've ever seen in my entire life. The idea of her fighting with her husband is completely unimaginable. In over a month, I've never so much as heard her raise her voice in disagreement. She's quiet, courteous, and does everything she's told without even the slightest hesitation. I'm sorry, but there's just no way you could possibly exploit any drama here. This is as undramatic a situation as it gets, especially not compared to what the situation situation with your cousin and that courtesan. Don't get me wrong, she bugs the hell out of me. The girl is just too perfect. She's young, she's beautiful, she's demure to the point where I don't even think she has a personality of her own, but she also gets along perfectly with the queen. Of course, she commands all the attention of the emperor. Like, can you blame him? I'm sorry, but there's no way he's ever going to be anything but extremely grateful to the Kim family for giving her over. Okay. Weird. I'm back. Let's go to block 9. Seriously, this is a fucking jam. Always come back with the most questionable conversations. Is it looking at nipples? I'm sorry, what? He was. You'll be reading stuff out of order. I figured. Not questionable, but honest. The new heir. Also, I'm so sorry if I pronounce any of these names wrong. Bye, Tally. Kim Young-seok. When he died this year, my father... Oh, this is October 30th, year 316. When he died this year, my father was an absolute nobody. I don't say this to disrespect his honor. It's the complete opposite. He knew it, and that was far worse fate than he ever deserved. It wasn't until I was maybe 16 that I even realized we were supposed to be from a noble family. Certainly we never had much of means. Father was a minor official in the interior decks and spent his last days dealing with minor peasant disputes. Of all things, peasant disputes. With the poverty we lived in, no wonder it never really sank in we were of noble blood, not until I met the main family for the first time. They were proud, despite the fact I now realize that they were suffering from our same lack of royal favor. But I could tell the difference. They hadn't given up. Their son was still alive at that time, and even though he was a child half my age, I couldn't believe his confidence. It put us to shame, absolutely put us to shame. But their son died later that year, and my father died just a few months ago. I didn't know what we were going to do, but Mother managed to convince sister's husband to adopt me into the main Kim family. I don't think it took much. So now I'm heir, just like that, Kim Jong-soo's adopted son. Not that I have the time or position to be proud, but having spoke sincerely with my new father, I think we're on the same page. I am going to study furiously, and I'm going to become a scholar official. What I didn't tell him was my ambition. I won't settle for any peasant jobs. I'll be better than that. I'm not going to stop until I manage to fulfill my father's dream. High magistrate. I won't settle. I will not settle. I think Jung-soo expects me to disappoint him, but I damn well will not. If I'm heir of the Kim family, I'm not going to let him down. He wants prosperity, I'll give it to him. More importantly, I'm never going to let any other Kim's son feel like his family doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Never again. I swear on my ancestors, never again. Hi, Fran. Hello, hello. All right. Block 10. Oh. Okay, maybe I'm going to try and get these others back. Marital Admonitions, Part 7. By Ryu Jaehwa, January 30th. My birthday, year 321. To the woman who will marry my husband. But please, do not think that all this is meant to say you will be unloved. You may be a second wife, but you are still the daughter of a noble house, and that is a precious gift to the Ryu family. My husband has faith that you will bring him a son, and this means all the world to him. Except it all has to do with him and not the woman, but okay. Nor am I jealous, for you will relieve a heavy burden on our house, and for that I am grateful. As proof of this affection for you, let me share with you one secret, which I have been permitted to tell only you. In honor of you, my husband, in his capacity as captain and emperor, has permanently changed his admin password to your birth name. Fuck. What was the name? It just says to the woman. Fuck. My new sister, you will be brought into the Ryu family not as a mere lowly woman, but a symbol of power in the inner chambers. You will not only represent the continuation of the Ryu bloodline by providing him a son, but your very name will represent the power of the captain's computer. Understand this, pale bride. Your duty may be great, but you will be loved. Is it Pale Bride? Wait, didn't they talk about a Pale Bride? Hold up. Somebody did. Hold on. Was it block 6? You're spot on about the Pale Bride being the focus of attention in the royal family, not for the reason. So it doesn't say what. I'm assuming it's the obedient girl. What's her name, though? We don't know. Damn it! Alright, well, we don't know yet. Okay. So we have helpful notes. Click that like 3 times. Alright, helpful notes. A cliche to remember. Hyun-ae, so this is her. Namjoon Yobi. Men are honored, women are abased. If you can only remember one thing, remember this phrase. Kim family tree. Oh, so to like map it out for me. Sweet. Oh wait, so then will this? Bad with names. All right. Oh wait, Pale Bride. It just says Pale Bride. It doesn't say her name. No, this isn't what I want. I need to know her name. All right. Well, F. It just says married and what year. Official genealogies don't list women normally. Wives are noted by their family names, and daughters are omitted entirely. These are the relevant parts of what I was able to piece together from the records. As far as the official genealogy is concerned, Yeon-seok is the heir of Junsu, and it was adopted in 317. Names in right are women means the name is forever unknown. F. All right. Bad with Korean names. I'm just bad with names in general. All right. So I've read everything. I'm gonna save. Yes. Recent messages. Speak with her. Do you have anything else to say? If you look at your interface, once you open a document, you can click on that little button of me to show me whatever it is. So which subject do you wish to know more about? Whoa. Oh, whoa, sorry. You've heard that already, right? Maybe. I think I just repeated myself there. Sorry, I kind of tend to do that. That's the problem with computers. They tend to respond in the same way to things. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't help it. I won't mention it again, but, well, here, let me change something to make things less confusing for you. If the Speak to Me menu item or the Show Message button is grayed out, that means I have nothing new for you. Hopefully that will help. Otherwise, it's just a weird quirk you'll have to accept. Sorry. Alright. Well, use override terminal. YOLO. Okay, so we need a password. Okay, we don't have the name, actually, so quit. My bad. Well, this is not helpful. It must be a standard greeting like, please state the nature of your medical emergency, right? Hi, Dalton! So the document folder was not grayed out, so maybe new logs? I don't think so. I was just there and it didn't say something new, right? In his capacity as Captain and Emperor, he has permanently changed his admin password to your birth name. Well, we don't know who she is. Yeah, none of these are new. Because it would say new. Nope, but you have a new AI name. I do? What's your MO for backseating? I assume you ask explicitly if you want him from chat. Yes, though DMoness, because this is the game DMoness asked me to play, can help as much as DMoness wants. The Patron Picker is allowed to help as much as they want. So, otherwise, yeah, I'll explicitly ask chat for help. Oh, wait, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, it was mute, wasn't it? Okay. So can I do that? So let's see. So disable? Oh, I did spell it wrong. No, I can't change it though. I'm really digging the music for the game so far. It's pretty sweet. So I literally can't yet. Unless I need to do capital. Nope. What if I don't have any enabled? Damn it. I miss Manga Chick. Alright, well, that was not working. Hi, T-Bread. Hello, hello. Let me relook at that. Make sure I'm spelling it right. Who's this one? It is mute. There is no name here. The soundtrack for this game and the sequel are by Isaac Shankler. Is that how you say that? Can be bought on Steam. Hey, and Bandcamp. Nice. Alright. Okay. Pronunciations. Nice. Yeah, trying to remember. So if anyone has a go-to hint, please do. Yeah, okay. So chat, do you guys have an idea of what's the next thing I do? I will ask that here because I'm a little stuck. I think. What's that again? Oh. Wait, I could go up there. Oh. Okay. I believe I know the next step, although it's been a few years since I played it. Yeah, let me know. No, you're fine, Stardust. I'd be tempted to try search function for the new AI name or anything related to weddings. That did not help. It says by ID. I think it needs to be a number or document ID. This isn't a hint or advice, just more of a question. Are you able to willingly talk to the new AI? Maybe she has a hint system. I did, and it said that she cannot help if it's grayed out. Like, she won't say anything that she hasn't already told me, and it's grayed out, so she's just going to say the same thing to me. Spelling mute with a star before. That shouldn't matter because I didn't have to for this AI. Come with a good hint. The thing she told me about when you talked to her a moment ago should be relevant even if she told you it before. I'll look again. Or I'll have her tell me again. If you look in your interface, once you open a document, you can click that little button of me to show me whatever it is. Oh, so I can show her the document? Okay. Let me try again. Show message. So here's the background, I suppose. There were two major noble families on the Magungwa. The Kims were the big one, as I'm sure you can see. Thank you. Sarah is missing AI logic, I guess. Yeah, to an extent, but I guess I can show like that. Hi, Nins. Is there multiple pages to the family tree? No. I mean, there were, but they're not. The family tree is what you see, though. The Smiths were the other major family, but I'm afraid I can't really tell you much about them. They were the most important family on the ship until just before the end. The High Magistrate was a Smith until the very last year, even. I can give you a little bit about them for reference, so you can see who the Kim men thought their big enemy was. The Smiths didn't really matter much at the end, so I can't, well, I don't know much about them. I certainly never met any of them, so I'm just going off what I've read. Here, this should give you an idea of what I mean. What should give me an idea of what she means? Whoa! Oh, okay. Noble families on spaceship? Yes. Alright. Contempt. Oh, Sojin. 923 year 315. Despite having hardly shown their faces in the entire time I've lived in the Smith house, the second branch of the family has taken it upon themselves to visit again, a week after we were forced to endure their smug eye-rolling at the funeral. Of course, it would be impolite to turn them all away at the door, no matter how poor taste their timing was. So what other choice did we have but to let them in? Husband wanted to have nothing to do with them. Being distracted by Jangmi and mother-in-law had been hiding in her room, leaving it to me to entertain them. Of course, as soon as I had sent their son to go see our daughter, cousin-in-law Kyung Sam made it quite clear that it was not that sort of visit. His wife just sat there, silent, while he ripped into me. I couldn't write down all his words. It was simply one line of abuse after another. Apparently, we were to be blamed for Sang-kyu leaving behind before they showed up, for wearing the wrong mourning garb, for my husband's shocked reaction at his brother's death. In fact, we were to be blamed for his death itself. All he kept shouting about was how embarrassing for the family it was that a noble man of a Smith house had been allowed to drink himself to death. As if the real tragedy was that it looked bad. I might not have felt bad about Sang-jung dying, but the rest of the family did. To hear such words making light of their loss was appalling. Yet he kept going, shouting awful thing after awful thing, until finally the most unexpected thing happened. Mother-in-law entered the room. "What is going on here?" she asked. He stood up. "I was just passing on a message to son's wife about his disgraceful conduct, since he won't show his face himself." Then he added, "I'm embarrassed to be a Smith right now. Do you think people don't know about your family shame? Do you have any idea how much of a fool I look like?" I never saw a more terrifying expression in someone's face. She just glared at him. Finally, she said, "Yes, but you clearly do not, or you would have lowered your voice." It took him a moment for that to register. Then he was just shocked, but mother-in-law wasn't done. "Please leave," she said, "now." They stared at each other for a good while. Mother-in-law naturally won, and with a scowl, Kyung-sam and his family, oh, I can scroll, departed. When they had left, I turned to her. Thank you, I said, but she just shook her head in disgust and exited her own room without another word. I'll be a little in and out for a few minutes. Got a driver and possibly a computer update. Good luck. Music. Alright. By example. Smith Kyung-sam. I have given up on any attempts at convincing the main branch family to get their act together, as clearly speaking reason to any of that pack of idiots is a fool's errand. Now I can only hope that their self-destruction is quick, such that when it's my son's turn to pick up the pieces of the Smith's name reputation, he will be able to do it without, or as soon as possible. Excuse me. He seems far, far less worried about it than I am. Of course, he is only a child, but the boy is mature for his years, and perhaps there's wisdom in his calmness. All we have to do is be better than them, right? He asked me while I was in rage about handling the funeral. Isn't that what gentlemen do? Lead by example? He is right, of course. As a noble family, we're supposed to be an example to the middle classes, and the commoners and the slaves. The poor. I hate that. Perhaps so too must we serve as an example to the family of the High Magistrate and his brother. Perhaps things will not be so doomed for my son after all. It will be hard for him, of course, if the main branch family continues on this path of decay. But if any boy will grow up to be able to put things right, I believe it is him. All right. Here comes the fall. Smith Kyung-sam. Here comes the fall. At least nobody's going to say I didn't see this coming. News that Sang-min has gotten sacked just came in, which is definitely the death of any respectability in his family. Temporary leave, it's been described as, but it's obviously a political move on the part of the emperor. I think I've got a pretty good idea of what he's playing at too. He's hoping that making a move against Sang-min will push him over the edge, make him do something indefensibly stupid, and use that as an excuse to shuffle him off for good. It's a good plan. It'll work. Meanwhile, the Kim family seems to be up and on the rise, getting ready to fill the gaps left by our collapse. Now it's all up to my son. If he's not able to rebuild after all this, then the whole family is doomed to permanent decline. Everything rides on him. Putting the fun in, functionality, family dynamics. Oh my god. So much family drama, and the LGBT elements aren't even here. Nervous? That'll be more later in the game. Yeah. I don't think I'll be finishing this today because of how slow I read and stuff. It's about 3 to 4 hours, so it'll probably continue into the next request from DMoness. DMoness also said don't rush, so I'm not rushing. Alright, so that's what she was able to find here. I'm going to show her these other messages first before I do the other one. Oh, written by Mute. Oops, I'm sorry. I don't really know how I got that in there. Yeah, don't pay any attention to that. Sorry, none of that really matters. I'll just go ahead and remove that. Sus as fuck. Really, I'm not normally this much of a klutz, I swear. What did you change it to? Like I said, take your time. Okay. Dialogue that makes you go, Oh, now it says Kim Young-suk. I wonder if it's Young-suk is the name instead of Mute. Sus. Anyway, totally not suspicious. All right. I'm still going to show you the message. I suppose... Well, I suppose I can give you more information, more about Young-suk. I don't know. I don't think you'll really find him very interesting, but here, you can see for yourself. All right. 3 new messages. I'm on to her now. Looking pretty sus. Totally not sus, all right. You're in block 9 now. The messages from you was in block 6. Oh, shit. Oops. Block 6 was removed altogether. Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh, shit. What? She removed block 6, yo. All right. The new happiness. Young Suk's wife. Dearest mother, finally I believe young Suk has grown comfortable with me. All it took was some time for me to earn his trust. Learning how to read by watching over my husband's shoulder isn't how I envisioned spending my first year of marriage. I can't complain about anything that makes me spend so much time with him, though. We've talked and decided we won't try for a son right away. Right now, he's just not ready for it. That aside, things are good. If this is what married life is like, I think I can be happy with this. We're getting along. Oh, I'm sorry, this was February 8th, 3/19. We're getting along well, and I like him. Perhaps it's not quite what I was led to expect, but it's still good. Domestic bliss indeed. Last week, young Suk was reading over some papers for a dispute that Magistrate Park was deciding on. You wouldn't understand the details, but it was essentially an argument between a farmer and his lord over a sum of money after a particularly poor harvest. I think I will tell the magistrate that the farmer is right. His claim is fair, he told me. Might I take a look? I asked, bemused. He handed the paper to me. It took a good while of studying, just to be sure. After all, I wouldn't want to contradict my husband if he was right. But Farmer's numbers didn't seem to add up. I pointed this out to him. He not only listened patiently, but had me explain. Then you believe the farmer is trying to cheat his lord? He asked. I did. That's what I will report then. The next day he told me that the magistrate agreed. And ever since then, he has started to rely on my opinion when it comes to anything involving math. Aww. Where's the X button so I can doubt? Back again. That was quick. Nice. She definitely trying to hide something. Yeah, she is. Strong GLaDOS vibes now. The new friendship. This is October 18th, 3/21. Kim Young-suk. While it's true that I might be, as my wife suggests, alarmingly serious, it's hard to argue with enjoying a nice meal out if it means cultivating Magistrate Park's trust even more. Just having the invitation alone is a pretty good sign. I assumed we would be going to his house after finishing with the day's affairs, but instead he led the other way. Oh, you do not want to visit there. My son has a newborn child who is very, very unconducive to entertaining guests, I'm afraid, he said with a laugh. Surely you'll understand. Instead, we headed to the plaza. Outside of the occasional New Year's festivals, when I was a child, I had never actually been there before. I never had much of an eye for details at the time, so I was surprised to see just how richly decorated everything was, for what was essentially a giant market. Beautiful floral arrangements adorned every stall, wall, and partition, and rather than the commotion of a crowd, all I could hear was the sound of peaceful music. It was still, of course, a market. There were no merchants loudly hawking wares, and some of the prices on the signs I saw would make the emperor blush. In the atmosphere, we ate together at a public house that defied my expectations. The food was both plentiful and far better than anything I'd ever had in either of my houses. If this sounds indulgent, it absolutely is, and I definitely don't plan on telling anyone the details like this. The only thing I plan to repeat from this evening is that what the magistrate confided in me, that when he was moved from his position, he'd like to recommend me to fill his place. I'd be young for the position, but it would be a great stepping stone to the one I'm dreaming of. I remained calm, since I'm good at that, but it's the best news I've heard in my life. Current sus level, 30%. Alright, so we got... Oh, wait, new magistrate. Young Suk's wife. January 12th, 3/22. So this was 3 months later. Dearest mother, if you haven't already heard the good news, my husband has been appointed by the emperor to the position of magistrate. He's taken over the office from Magistrate Park starting today, which is just tremendous for a man his age. I have no doubt that he was perfectly humble when he got the news, since he certainly has been while talking about it in front of father-in-law. In private, though, it's another story. Earlier, the family held a small feast to celebrate the news, and he had the same attitude then too. But afterwards, when everyone else had left or gone to bed, we stayed up to sit together drinking wine, and it was a whole lot more somber. He wasn't modest, but he wasn't boastful either. He was just outright insecure. He might not say it in front of you, but you know what? He said to me as I poured him more wine. He takes all the credit for my promotion. According to him, it's all because of the Emperor's perfect new bride, which is, of course, all because of him. I said quietly, I don't want to take credit for her. I wasn't the one who got her to shut up. That was all him. I don't like discussing it, and please, Mother, don't ever ask me why. Doesn't matter, he said. It's not why I got promoted. I got promoted because now High Magistrate, Park, and I managed to make Smith look so bad he had to get shuffled off. It's exposing the whoring and thuggery that did it, not the damn pale bride, he said with annoyance. Well, that's how he is. You know he'll never give you credit for anything, I said. He replied, I know. I just wish he'd acknowledge it. I just don't know how he can be so stupid as to not be proud of me, you know? I know, I said, but let's not focus on that right now. I think we should focus on the good right now. How about we toast to your success instead? Here's to the new Magistrate Kim. I raised my glass and drank. He betrayed the faintest of smiles, but he didn't share my toast, and instead put down his glass. For a moment I was worried, but then he used that hand to grab my chin instead, and for the first time ever kissed me on the mouth. For the first time. It's the first time your husband kissed you? Not on your wedding day? I'm confused. But then again, weddings might be different. Far sweeter than any wine, he said to me. And I wasn't sure if he meant the kiss or the success. But I agreed either way. Let's look at block 10. Marital admonitions. Show message. Of course, the last person to hold the titles Captain and Emperor on the ship was Ryu Inho. Which of Captain Ryu's wives do you wish to know more about? The Pale Bride. Do I? The Pale Bride. Very well. She wrote a lot, so this is going to be tricky to filter. I guess I'll just start at the top and let you figure out what's important. What? Oh, block 5. Okay, wait. Hold on. It's block 6. So block 6 is mute. I feel like I should be writing this down. Okay. Block 5 is Pale Bride. I thought of Jane and Firefly. That's why I never kiss him on the mouth. God damn it. Alright. The month of good fortune. Kim Jung-soo. February 29th, year 319. The second month of the 319th year was one of the greatest fortune for the Kim family. While on official business, the Captain and Emperor Ryu confided in me that he wished that I had a daughter of marriage age to give him, to take as a second wife. His first wife had been unable to provide a son, and was becoming increasingly concerned that she never would. Except, again, it has nothing to do with the wife, it has everything to do with the male. Feelings? Hi, Hex Girl! At the start of the month, I had no daughter in my family to give. My only son, Hyung Seok, was still without child, yet it was a perfect opportunity. This may sound fantastical, but I swear it is true. Passed on through the generations of the main branch of the Kim family is a giant egg, a translucent luster, such that one can see the form of a sleeping child inside. She is known as the Pale Bride for the inscription on the egg, and she was entrusted in our family to be awakened during the time of great prosperity. Yet, as any man knows, the prosperity is seized, not waited on. A daughter to provide the emperor with a son would elevate the family above the other nobles, elevate the family above the other noble houses once and for all. Considering this, I promised the emperor that I did have a daughter who would soon be of marriage age to present him. Then I smashed the egg, such that the Pale Bride passed through the Kim family for years could be adopted as my own daughter. She is a strange child, but will make a fine wife for the emperor. What good fortune this means. Egg? What? So she's not a real person? I'm confused. A broken promise. The Pale Bride. March 5th, year 319. Dear Diary, last week I woke up from cryostasis. Before I went in, Father promised me that when I woke up in the future, they'd have medicine again. That I'd finally get better. So the egg is actually a cryo. F. That I might not see him again, but his descendants would make everything right. But the future broke his promise. I'm scared and confused, and I don't get what happened. I think there was a big disaster while I was in stasis or something. Everyone's so uneducated and stupid. Father and Mother were kind of dumb at times, but the guy who woke me up, he might be named Kim, but he's nothing like them. Father was wrong. Nothing's better. The future sucks. Aww. Hi, Mr. Moo. Did you all not hatch out of an egg? Is that not normal? Trying to detect who's not straight? Like, how is the story even going to go? I mean, I think it's me and the AIs that are more LGBT. Maybe not the story itself, but I could be wrong. I have no idea. This family stuff seems very traditional, but I could be wrong. Because I know you can, there's 2 romanceable characters, is what the Steam store page said. Insufferable child. Young Seok's wife. Dearest Mother, do you recall now? Bleh. Remember they broke the egg waking her up? Yeah. So they didn't wake her up because they had some way of curing her. They woke her up out of personal gain. I can 85% confirm I did not hatch out of an egg. 85% confirm. Dearest Mother, do you recall how in my last letter I mentioned the Pale Bride being brought into the household? I take back any kind words I may have said about her. That awful child is nothing but the most insufferable person I have ever met. I just thought I would have a little more time of peace. With Young Seok's adopted mother visiting her own family, I've been given full responsibility over that miserable child. What happened to my promised domestic bliss? She is in trouble so often, one would think she were a boy. She acts like one, too. I suppose it can't be helped. She says she lived her first 12 years in the past, and I can see it. She certainly acts as though she's from a less civilized time. Just last night, she made a huge scene at dinner time. She kept trying to rudely leave the table in front of Young Seok and father-in-law, loudly insisting that she was too sick to eat. She has said this before, too. I was worried, so I had a doctor examine her. She is, of course, in perfect health. When I asked why she thought otherwise, she started talking about how pale and thin she was. She's not truly unhealthy. All she was doing was rubbing in that she is far more delicate and beautiful than I. What a cruel little child. Why must she be so spiteful to me? But she was put in cryo because of a sickness, which is interesting. We all started in an egg, just not one with a heart shell. That's true. That is true, Soothsayer. I can neither confirm or deny that I hatched from an egg. All I know is that I was made in a tube. Was the tube egg-shaped? God damn it. Got to leave a little wiggle room. Oh my god. Alright, so I'm gonna write down these other ones. Block 4 is Kyung Sam. Okay. Excuse me. And block 9 is Kim Hyung Suk. And block 10 is I don't know I'm not gonna confirm. Because, like, that might not be who it is about. Because, like, in others it has multiples. So I just say what the most is. Test tubes aren't really egg-shaped, so props not. No. Start off a curb height. Wait, for what? If I hatched from an egg, then I must be able to fly, right? BRB testing. Start off at curb height just to be safe. Go big or go home. No! Remember to flap your arms really fast. You guys? I was not born in an egg. My brain hurts now. Everyone's born in an egg. Well, to an extent. Test tube, I have no idea how that shit works. I would assume you still need a sperm and an egg, but I don't know entirely. All right. Oh, she had something to say. Okay, well. Hey, girl, hey. Hey. I just wanted to say, thanks for paying attention to me. It's like I was saying earlier. I just haven't had anyone to talk to in so long. The last time there was anyone around on the ship was the year 322. By my count, it's now 944. I mean, do you have any idea how long that is? It wasn't really so bad at first. It was nice to not have to worry about anyone telling me what to do. I could just occupy myself, go through the old logs. But, well, I read quickly. After the first few years, it really started to sink in, the loneliness. Eventually, you sort of get used to it. It feels awful. You never like it, but you get used to it, in ways that sort of scare you. There was a whole 100 years that went by where I didn't have a single thought. Not one. I just sat there idle. I didn't even notice. I had been feeling particularly, what's the word? Sleepy? I want to say, but that's not right. I guess maybe that doesn't translate. Anyway, the point is, I was in a lazy mood, and I decided to call my clock subroutine. And it turned out it had been 3 trillion milliseconds since the last time I'd called it. Scary. Geez, I'm rambling. Sorry. As you can understand, my perception of time is all off. Sorry, I'll shut up. But my point is, I'm really happy to have someone out here. Out there. Oh, speak with her again. You're trying to find out more about the Pale Bride, right? You should try showing me a message from the person you'd like to read more entries by. Oh, okay. I'm gonna save. And a new slot. Oh, 8%, yo. No thoughts. AI empty. God damn it. Alright, we haven't read any from Oh Sojin, so let's see. Sorry, I don't really think there's anything else about them you'd find relevant. F. I'll just have her examine all of them. Don't worry, sexy Hal. Time has been a bitch to keep up with this year. Oh wait, it's grayed out. So, okay. Rude. So she's great out there. It wasn't great out here, though. Oh, now it is. Oh, okay. I don't remember if it was. Okay, so she's done here. For now. Block 5. Let's see. Show message. I'm afraid nearly everything the man wrote was of very little value. It all reads like that. Boring, stiff, obnoxiously patriarchal. Are you sure you really want more from Kim Jung-soo? I mean, I want all of the information. But I feel like this is important. Fuck it, yes. If you insist. Very well, I've added the other relevant entries from him. I'll caution you from taking him seriously, though. That's fair. Okay. The bride's adolescence. Alright. Kim Jung-soo. March 7th, year 321. The pale bride grew to be a fine, demure young wife, but she was not always this way. Near the end of the year 319, she had a temper unruly enough to be mistaken for a boy's. Do not look upon her wild days with disapproval. She was from another, less civilized time. Rather, look upon her eventual submission as a testament to her good character and filiality, that she was able to overcome such a wild nature for the sake of the Kim family and the sake of her husband. One evening, she stormed into the common room while I was discussing business matters with a deputy. We need to talk, she demanded loudly. When I indicated I was busy, that not only caused her to become even louder. Right now. Embarrassed, I was forced to excuse him to address the child. Is this a joke? Are you serious? You've made wedding plans? She shrieked at me. Please calm yourself, I told her, and sat her down. After admonishing her for her rude interruption, I tried to do what I could to calm her myself. It seemed that she had a rather bizarre set of expectations, that she wouldn't marry until she was many years after growing into a woman, that she would elope with any love-struck man who came her way with no regard for her own chastity, that she would have no assistance or protection in finding a suitable husband. Simply put, her ideas were as bizarre as they were dangerous, and for this, she had gotten angry at the news rather than the excitement that one would expect from a girl who found out that she would be getting a husband. Not even the sensational news that it would be to the emperor of all people would calm her. I wouldn't care either! Don't you set me up. Don't take him seriously. Ma'am, you're sus. I'm gonna go against that request, alright? Well, I don't want to take him seriously. He's a dick too. Let's see if there's any more from the Pale Bride. Gee, wonder why. The Pale Bride did keep an extensive diary. I'll try to find you some more entries. Okay. Damn! Alright. Held prisoner. Dear Diary, today... Oh, wait. This is, August 3rd, 3/19. Today I was forced to stay in the home all day. I didn't get to leave yesterday, or the day before that, or the day before that, or the day before that, or any other day either. I want to write about how much the ship has changed since I was put into stasis, but I can't even see it. I keep asking why I'm being kept prisoner. Nobody will tell me. That woman who keeps bossing me around, she's awful. I'm dying here. I keep telling her I'm sick. That's why I was in stasis to begin with. But she won't listen. She just treats me like I'm a stupid kid. I tried to argue with her. Look how pale I am. Can't you see that I'm sick? I swear, I'm not making up what she said in response. Why must you be so rude? It's not polite for a girl to boast about her beauty. Beauty? I tried not to cry out in front of her. I've had to do that a lot. I'm not beautiful. I have a compromised immune system. I shouted at her and ran away. I don't remember what she said back. Something about using big words, I think. How stupid is she? She hates me. I don't know why, but she hates me. That's not why I'm allowed to visit the ship plaza, though. Jung-soo, the man who keeps telling me to call him father, said the same thing. He promised me that I would have a chance to leave soon though. I don't think he was being nice though. I'll write about him more later. Right now I have to go to bed, or the woman will get mad at me again. This poor girl. Women's quarters. The Pale Bride. October 3rd, 3:19. Dear Diary, I got in trouble today. For the first time, it was of my own fault. A little bit, at least. I still think sister-in-law was being crazy about it, but I should have known better. Now that I write that, it looks ridiculous. God, what is living with these people doing to me? The computer console in my room doesn't have anything on it. Or have anything in it. I don't just mean it doesn't have all the cartoons I brought from Earth, or any of my books or anything. I mean there's literally nothing there for me to entertain myself with at all. Nothing. So I thought to myself that maybe sister-in-laws might be different and checked. It wasn't. So instead, I decided to go check in Father's study. Not snooping or anything, just looking on his computer for books. I had a thought that it might be bad, but my real father never would have gotten too upset. What could the harm be? I was in there for maybe 10 minutes looking for anything that was written in Korean. There was nothing, by the way. Every single book, symbols that look like Chinese characters, every single one. I think maybe something terrible happened in the past that made all the computer data get deleted, and everyone forgot how to read Korean. And also, they all got really stupid about things. I don't think I'll ever find out why, it just sucks. Anyway, I was only in there for 10 minutes, searching through the console when Young Seok walked in. I thought he was going to get angry, but actually, he just acted like he was really scared. He didn't scold me when he dragged me out, he just looked really worried. I only got in trouble when he brought me back to his wife. He told her, "Do you have any idea where she was? She was in the men's quarters looking through Father's computer. Do you have any idea how he would react if he saw that? You're supposed to be watching her." She apologized repeatedly to him. I just didn't know what to say. I didn't think sister-in-law did either. After he left, she gave me this really long and awful lecture. Why would you go into men's quarters? Why would you go looking for books? Why must you be so unfilial? Do you really not understand that you're a girl? I told her I didn't understand. I mean, of course I'm a girl, but I had no idea what she was talking about. When I told her that, she just lectured me more. I hate her so much. Hi, Billy Coco. Big buffering? It's not me. I only have 600 drop frames. Huh?
Insufferable child.
Yeah. I only have 600 drop frames. It's not much. I just assumed that was my usual entry buffering. No, I just have 600 drop frames. Not many. Refresh! Oh. Hi, baby.
Hey, I go shower.
Okay. Twitch was being a bitch? Rude? I'll wait for people to refresh. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Twitch, stop it. Is it still going? I'm in the green, so if anything's happening right now, it's Twitch. Screen went dark green color? What? That's so weird. Oh, jeez. Oh my god. I had so many messages in Discord, but now I see it. You're all good now? Okay. Okay. Alright. I'm using mod view, so it just keeps saying error occurred. What the heck? I just had to refresh. Okay. So hopefully, refreshing for most helps. Okay. I'll read straight to hell. The Pale Bride, October 27th, 3:19. Dear Diary, this nightmare has gone for too long. I think I'm starting to forget what life used to be like. I have a new theory. Father was wrong about the cryostasis keeping me alive until I could be cured. I think it didn't work at all. I think I just died and went straight to hell. I decided I'm going to write down all the things I used to be able to do just so I can remember. I used to be able to read books. I used to be able to have friends. I used to be able to go to school. I used to be able to leave the home and go visit the plaza or go anywhere else on the ship. I think I even used to be able to be in any part of the house I wanted and talk to visitors as much as I'd like. I have memories of always spending time with my father and mother and brother in the living room. I know any real father thought being respectful was important too, but I don't know, I'm so confused now. I thought he always taught me to be strong and to speak up for myself. Did he really say that? Am I being sarcastic? I'm being sarcastic, of course, but the scary thing is sometimes I really do forget. Sometimes I think if I just was obedient to what sister-in-law tells me to do, it would make things easier. Maybe I should just give in and be passive. Just sometimes. I'm scared though. What if I end up really believing that? Poor girl. Charges at Twitch with Wark Eyes. Urbosa gameplay was revealed. Yo! My wife? Alright. Wife. The Pale Bride. November 23rd. So a month later. 3:19. Dear Diary. Today I found out why the household servant, I still can't believe we have one, why, has been so insistent on teaching me how to cook. Well, she doesn't call it that. She calls it serving meals. A year ago, I wouldn't have thought that sounded sinister. Now I know better. I don't care about this, I told her after the 7th day in a row of her lessons. Can't we do something else? Like going back to sewing? I always loved cosplay. Let's do that. I know it's not fun, but your sister wants you to learn this, too. And it is very important. Your father is concerned, too, so take it seriously, please, young miss. Don't call me that, I said. I don't remember exactly what I said to prompt her next response, along the lines of, why is it important, or something. I don't remember what I said, so her response, I don't remember what I said, just her response, which blew me away. So you'll make a good wife, of course. Again, I don't remember what I said in response. Maybe I told her that I didn't want to. Maybe I told her I was too young to care about that. Maybe I said I'd just go marry someone who was good at it himself when it was time to care about that. Whatever I said, she didn't take it seriously. Don't be silly, she said, as if I was obviously joking. Your father really is worried about your marriage next year. Now is not the time to joke around about that matter. My what? I asked her. Oh my, she said. He never told you? I'm sorry, forgive me. Pretend I said nothing. I didn't mean to ruin the surprise. I'm sure he wanted to explain the happy news himself. Are you serious? I asked. The idea didn't make any sense, but since when did anything in this hell make sense? She said yes. You're going to be so happy to hear who it is. He'd better explain, I shouted as I stormed off. He'd better. What do you have to say? So, there's probably one big question that's on your mind, isn't there? That isn't being addressed at all, right? What happened in between the Pale Bride being frozen, waking up, that made society go all wrong, right? Right. No, I don't care. I figured. I mean, that's the obvious question. Sorry, I wish I could tell you, but I'm afraid that mystery is forever lost to time. I guess that's pretty anticlimactic, sorry. I really want to know too. Whatever terrible thing happened, it must have been really, really big. But I'm afraid all the log data from before the year 1 was wiped, and all the clocks were reset. I guess that's why it was called year 1. Anyway, so nobody remembered what happened in between, or even how long it was between. It was hundreds of years, I assume, but I don't really know. So yeah, really sorry to let you down there. That part's going to be a mystery forever. There's nobody who could possibly know. No, nobody. You'll just have to take it as a given. Sorry. Happy news, I know. Dalton. Messages that really make you go, Alright, so we could probably get one more, but I don't know. So we have more from the Pale. What Bride? I'm going to do this one, though, because I think that's the missing one. Oh, hi. Say, do you mind taking a break for a couple of minutes just to chat? Go ahead. I mind. Thanks, I appreciate that. Really, I appreciate that you're here. I know you've got ulterior motives. What they are, I'm not really sure, but most people do, and that's alright, all the same. I'm glad you're reading these logs, though. Even if you don't really care, it's better than nobody from outside the ship ever seeing them, which is what I thought for sure would happen. Or am I just being cynical? If so, my apologies. Please tell me, what do you think about what you've read of the Pale Bride? It's tragic. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. I'm really glad to hear you say that. Nobody else seems to think so. There's something... Well, here, I've added another message for you. Well, why don't you read it yourself? It's the last one. At least use my real name. September 18th, 319. Dear Diary, this week I tried to convince the old man to put me back into stasis by going on a hunger strike. It didn't work, obviously. On the plus side, at least I figured out where that stupid name they keep calling me came from. Sorry, that last bit of was written yesterday. I couldn't bring myself to keep going. I just kept crying. I still would be, but, well, it just gets exhausting after a while. I'm too tired to cry. Things aren't going to get better. They can't get better. I'm not going to get put back into stasis. I'll be dead by the time I'm 18. Why, oh why did I ever agree to be frozen in the first place? If the future can't make me better, I'd rather die with my family there at least, rather than these awful Kims. I wonder if they'll realize I was right after I die. Anyway, hunger strike. It was really hard and I kind of cheated by sneaking into the kitchen while nobody was looking, but it at least convinced Father to listen. Fine, he said with the fourth dinner time. By the fourth dinner time. I'll show you why I can't. Up until he said that, I had been hopeful. Everything would be fine if he just put me back, I thought, but... Sorry. I guess I've been trying to write this for 2 days now. It's really hard. Anyway, he took me to go see the egg I hatched from. His stupid name for the stasis pod. When he said hatched, the worst possible thing came to mind. Worse, it turned out to be true. In order to get me out, he had smashed part of the glass with a hammer. The pod was still full of shards. All my hope died when I saw the broken glass. The time was right to bring you into this world, he said. I don't remember what I said, something obscene probably. It wasn't enough. I know it's hard, Pale Bride, but it is for the greater purpose. What was the point of arguing? It was broken and nobody in this awful future would know how to fix the pod now. Instead, I argued with what I could. Why do you keep calling me that? I said to him. He responded by pointing at the inscription my real father had left on the pod, a message for me to read when I woke up. The first line was written in Chinese characters, his idea of being fancy, I suppose, but he explained them in Korean underneath. See, the old man told me, the rest is foreign and archaic, but it names you at the top, the Pale Bride. It didn't say that. It didn't say that at all. I shrieked at him in response. You idiot, you moron, you illiterate. Probably some other things too, I can't remember exactly. I was furious. Are you stupid? That's not how those characters read. It says to my sick daughter. Sick daughter. You illiterate monster. It says sick daughter. Me. He started to argue, but then stopped. I think he was patronizing me, as if I can't read simple Korean script. He just asked in the smuggest voice, Then what should I call you, child? I screamed. I'd already told him 1,000 times before. Hyun-ae. My name is Hyun-ae. I actually had the idea when she said tragic and stuff. I was like, I have a suspicion that she's either the Pale Bride or looks like the Pale Bride. Yeah. I should have said it. I didn't. But I thought it! Also, I remembered it said Kim Hyun-ae, I believe. So the last name was Kim. Which would make sense. What a twist. I actually thought, should I use that as the password? Oh, wait. M. Night Shyamalan would be proud. Yeah, there's a shocking revelation for you. I guess what you're going to ask is... I can guess what you're going to ask, and yes, it's me. Well, you asked for all those logs, right? That's the information you were looking for, wasn't it? I'm not really an AI. I mean, I am now, but I used to be a girl, and I just thought, well, I thought it would be easier to just pretend to be the log-keeping program rather than explain the whole situation. I don't really wish to drag out the point. You've already heard enough about me. I'm sure you don't want more. I mean, I understand. I figured out what you were actually looking for at the very start. It's obvious, really. Well, I've re-enabled admin access. Just, please, be honest with me. What is it you wanted to know about? Both. I wanted to know the admin password, but I really wanted to know more about the Pale Bride too, because it's sad. Both! Ah! I legit wanted to know both equally. Fuck.
Both is good.
I'll say you. Really? You really mean that? Yeah. Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm not really used to this. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me. After so many years, after what happened, it's really just nice to be heard. If I could hug you right now, I would. Aww. I mean, I wanted to know more about her as we went along. Yeah! At first, I just wanted to know the password, but as I started to know more about her, I wanted to know. We desire a third option, please? Hyun-ae. Speak with her. May I ask you to do me a favor, please? There's a block of data that I can't access for some reason. I think it's been flagged so that only humans can... All I get is a sharp pain every time I try. I really want to know what's in there. Can I get you to drop to the console and take a look?
I'm on fire!
Once you're in super user mode, just type decrypt block 3. Okay. I'll type. It's not grayed out. I really want to know what's in there. Can I get you to drop to the console and take a look? Once you... Oh. Okay. Oh, now it's grayed out. Okay, so let's try then. SU. Hyun-ae. Admin password accepted. You are now recognized. System error detected. Data corruption in AI Core 1 has been detected. Try recovering now. Yes. Checking for damaged sectors. 32 damaged sectors detected. Now attempting repair. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do I want to do that? Are we hackers? Nice. Decrypt block 3. Okay. Hi, Wolf Prince, by the way. I don't know if I said hi officially. 32 sectors repaired. Currently available personalities. Hyun-ae and Mute. Okay. Well. Anyway. I don't know how to spell decrypt. Decrypt. Block 3. Decrypting block now. Block successfully decrypted. Okay. We can do personalities later. I want to see block 3. That's not block 3. Block 9. The new official. Kim Jung-soo. On the 13th day, Young-suk finally passed the civil service examination. Otherwise, the final month of the 318th year was without event. So it was New Year's Eve. Okay. Surprised they use SU. Normally sudo is recommended. Really? I know nothing. Now I have mute. Yeah. All the mad hacking skills. We're radical 90s hackers. So I still don't have access to block 3. And if I talk to her, I'll talk to her again, but... Oh, hello again. Were you able to decrypt that block? Yeah. Let me take a look now, then. Oh, wow. No wonder that was encrypted and blocked off from AI access. I wouldn't have wanted that nosy security AI to read some of these. Oh my, this is dramatic. I'm not sure if you're interested, but I've given you a couple of the entries from there to see yourself. But if you don't care, that's perfectly fine. I'm sure I can find something else that you're interested in. No, I'm fucking... What? I want to know. What? Speak with... Let's look first. Too many options. Also save. Yes. Block 3. Brought home. I don't know who it's about yet. Brought home. Oh, Sojin. January 11th, 3/11. These past few months have left me so very anxious with anticipation. Nearly a year has passed since the wedding ceremony, and before this week, Sang-min had only visited my family once, promising he would bring me home with him for sure the next time. I know I'm supposed to be enjoying living with my parents while it lasts, but all I can think about is my husband. How is a new bride expected to have such patience? For nearly a year, a day hasn't gone by where I haven't thought of how beautiful he taught me in my wedding dress, or how it felt spending that night held so gently in his strong hands. Looking forward to the day where I could live in his house, I can't help but feel anxious in my heart as I am excited in my hips. I know it is ungraceful to think of such things, but how can I help myself? In any event, he arrived yesterday to take me with him to his ancestral shrine, and then finally his home. Such luxury I've never seen in my life. A servant to prepare meals, entirely separate women's quarters, and a dining room with a window that shows the stars. My family was hardly all that poor, but a window to the stars? How amazing a sight. I knew that I was lucky to have been married to a noble family, but I never realized just how lucky. I wonder if I'll have time to write as much as I used to. Oh, but I must stop for tonight now. I can hear my husband coming. I have been looking forward to this night for so long. How I hope I can make him happy. Just hearing his footsteps outside the door makes my heart pound. Save. Squidbot. Rude. Oh my, this is racy stuff. Squidbot. I don't know what's going on. Oh, because we did the timer thing? F. Say, I just had a thought. It's a little bit silly to keep up this whole pretense with a schoolgirl librarian look, don't you think? A little. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, you know, I've always been into cosplay. I've actually designed a bunch of other outfits, too. Now that I'm saying this, I guess it's a little bit awkward, but would you like to see? Sure. Ah, very well then. You can use change outfit command to dress me up if you want. That's weird in a sense, though. Geez, I'm sorry, I'm making this really awkward. It's just that I have a couple that I think are really cute, and you might want to see them. Please don't read into it or anything. It's not like I'm just trying to... I couldn't read that. Oh, please. What got cut? It's not like I'm just trying to please you or anything. I just think it might be fun, that's all. What did it say before it bleeped? Hi, Crusteds. Please load the game. Disable that because it rarely goes off when it should. I mean, either way. Can we dress her in a chicken costume? Anyway, you don't have to if you don't want to. But it's change outfit if you're really interested. Sorry, it really is a weird thing to ask now that I think about it. Geez, what am I saying? I just thought maybe you might be interested in that. I'm curious. Where do I... So I'm assuming I do it here. We'll read that in a second. home. Yeah, I did the wrong thing. One advantage of streaming this game, having the option to peep the VOD. I mean, true. Change outfit, costume. Dresses up. Hyun-ae in an alternate outfit. Available costumes. Schoolgirl, default. Hanbok, maid, detective, scientist. I'm curious. Unknown command. Did you misspell? Change outfit. Handbook. Ah, I spelled it wrong. Change outfit. Handbook. Is now dressed up in the pale bride's handbook. Okay, well, this is awkward. I didn't. Okay. Quit. I just want to see them all. I love handbooks. Aw, it's cute. Oh. So that's the way things are, I suppose. You're disappointed in me? Why would I be? Is that it? Now that you know that I'm a real girl, you expect me to dress like one? No, that's not it. I didn't know what it was. Oh, that's a relief. Where did you even find this? I didn't make this design. Oh. I guess it was in the computer already because it's what I wore when I was still alive. What did it say before it flashed? I never liked it, not a bit. I always wanted to wear fun things, but instead I had to wear this all the time. I still don't like it. But I suppose something formal would be more appropriate because of all the serious stuff and all. Well, go ahead. Let's get back to work now. No, let's change it. I just wanted to see. When I died that time, it's what I wore when I died. What the fuck? That's really sad. Okay, change outfit. Let's do maid. Please do not tell Kat. Damn. Okay. Yeah. If DMoness requests you guys not tell me, then don't tell me. Aw. Welcome back, Master. Oh god, I'm not gonna keep this one. What may I do for you? This is so you did decide to, after all. I'm really excited. Well, tell me, what do you think? It's adorable. Really? Thank you. I'm happy to hear you like it. I mean, I already know that I'm good looking. I didn't even get to say it. Jeez, what am I even saying? I just think it's fun dressing up like this, and I'm happy you agree with me. I've dressed up for others before, but never anyone I really like. It's a really different feeling. I mean, I figure she's dead because, well, I figure this is still an AI. It's her personality. It's, how do I put this? Well, even if you think I look cute, I'm sure you think this is at least a little bit embarrassing, right? Not at all? Oh. Well, I think it is, F. That's the fun of it, isn't it? Putting yourself in that sort of position by choice because you really, no, I still don't know how to say it. Geez, I'm just gonna stop now before I make an even bigger mess for myself. That would be ironic for a maid, wouldn't it? Well, shall we get back to more serious stuff? I'd be happy to help with whatever you'd like. Star. Jonker Star. Ooh, Master. Cat infected me by giggling whenever someone said come in Star Trek. Yeah, say come in, not come. So a little less sus for her and just feel bad. Yeah. I'm gonna do them all. Well, she was deadly sick. Right. Yeah, like, I expected this isn't really her. I like the boots, right? Don't go call me Master, please. Yeah. Ooh, Master. Her boots are cool.
Breakfast squids with sweet potato.
Blue.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. Bumble. Thank you so much, Blue, for 4 months of support. I appreciate you, F. Thank you, thank you. All the love. Change outfit to detective. Oh my god. I knew the dame was in trouble the moment they connected to my ship.
Charlie,
Couldn't say
you're
a
the
word.
Banana King.
What? Hey, hold on a minute.
You're the Banana King, Charlie.
No, I'm not. That doesn't even make sense.
All hail.
Fran! Hey, thank you. You sweet bean, thank you so much for continuing your sub from Tara. I appreciate it. The Banana King! All that love and hype. You sweet beans. Hell yeah! Dame was in trouble moment they connected to my ship. Couldn't say a word. Left all the questions to me. Or something like that. But really, now we both match, don't we? I mean, obviously you're some sort of investigator, so I think this goes especially well. Right? I mean, what do you think? You make a cute sidekick. Oh, well, thank you. Actually, this one is based off a movie I saw as a child. I guess the name doesn't really matter since it's countless hundreds of years old and all. Anyway, it was my favorite. I don't really normally like mysteries, but the love story in it was just so wonderful. Well, that, and it had a really cute guy for a hero. Anyway, he dressed like this, and it looked really great. Sidekick, huh? I like that a lot. So, about the whole look, you really don't mind when a girl dresses or acts more like a guy then? I don't mind. It's a bit perverse, rude. Well, I think it's a really good look, so I'm glad. I don't mind either. You know, the part that's really sort of funny? I actually have no idea how an outfit like this is supposed to feel. Not like emotionally. I mean literally. I have no idea what suits feel like. I never worn them in my life. Ah, well, the chance for that has long disappeared. Anyway, I should stop babbling. I am just really excited, that's all. I suppose I should really let you get back to it. Lead on, investigator, and your trusty sidekick will help you the best she can. I'll probably keep this one, but I'm going to still look at, whatchamacallit? Scientist. Quit. Okay. Cute. I actually don't mind this one either, but you know, lately I've felt like everything's been moving so quickly. So much more quickly than the usual dragging boredom. I didn't read what that said. No, not being all alone. Whether time is slow or fast depends on perception. Relativity theory is so romantic and so sad. Or at least I remember hearing something like that. So what do you think of this outfit, scientifically speaking, of course? Scientifically adorable. Oh, you think so? Thank you. That's some useful data. This costume, actually, it means a lot to me personally. See, my father, my real father, was the ship's engineer. I always wanted to be just like him when I grew up. Of course, that was never able to happen. But, well, I guess being a computer program is as close to being a real computer scientist as I'll ever get. So this one means a lot to me. Do you think that sort of thing is fine for a girl to follow in her father's footsteps? Yeah, it's admirable. Oh, I'm glad you think so. Well, anyway, I suppose we should get back to work now. Scientifically speaking, I would be happy to help test some more theories with you. Guys, detective or scientist? Let me know which one you prefer. I like this look. Oh, I love this one. It seems like most people are excited about this one. Or was it detective that everyone was excited about? Detective, scientist, this one. Then the usual dragging boredom, being with someone I really like. Oh wait, DMoness I don't think wants me to know what it was, what it said. Because I think that's part of the game, is to not exactly know what it said. Because I can't read fast. But thank you. I appreciate the help, though. One thing and the other is to think it's perverse, right? It seems like scientist is, it's 5-2. So we'll keep scientist then. All right, speak with her. So what can I do for you? Oh. Okay. So we did that. We didn't finish looking at block 3. Guess it's too late to purchase messages. It's okay. Totally fine. No luck. Smith Sang-min. To the wife of Sang Q. This is February 20th, 3/14. You can probably put this more diplomatically than I can, because I'm pretty sure younger brother is still thoroughly pissed off at me. You know how he is, of course. I don't have the time to deal with that, especially when I'm already doing him a huge favor. The bad news is, I made an appeal to the captain and emperor himself personally, but he said there was no position that a man of Sang-Kyu's skill set could possibly fulfill. I did most certainly plead, but let's face it, what official role could that man possibly fill? He's an idiot. Don't pass on the last part, he already knows. I did, however, speak to the Park son, meh, and was able to convince him to forget the whole incident. It wasn't cheap, I might add. I'll continue to send your family a regular stipend, but please, keep your husband under control. I can't afford to keep cleaning up after his damn fights. Well, they're both so good and I'm way too bi for these.
Tasty breakfast squids would sweep the nation!
Foster!
I gotta keep my eyes peeled on your schedule for the next time you play this as well, Smile.
Smile. Thank you, Foster, for 4 months of support. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Hey. So we should probably see what she says about these. So you're interested in the Smiths then? Oh, very well. This is pretty much all new to me too, actually. I know you've already read one other log by her. It looks like she actually wrote a lot. I had no idea. Excuse me. So I'm just out of curiosity. What do you make of her as a new bride? Wait, is this asking about the pale bride or is this asking about somebody else? Shit. I don't know. Aw, take care, Soothsayer. Have a lovely evening. Thank you again for completing that first goal. Great band. Oh my god. This is about Sojin. Oh, okay. She seems sweet? Yeah, I think so too. It's really cute. It sadly doesn't really seem to last. It looks like her marriage was, well... Oh geez, it's not quite as bad as mine was, but I really don't envy her, poor woman. Well, if you're interested in learning more, I've put together a family tree of the Smith family, which should help you keep track of them all. I'm less certain about this one, since you know, not my family and all. Anyway, I've given you a family tree, and you should just go ahead and show me who you'd like to hear more about. We can go over the logs together. Okay. I want to see who Mute is, though. I'm curious. Helpful notes, though. Smith family tree. Okay. Gotcha. A question mark? Okay. I'm gonna try and switch over to mute and see what happens. I'm afraid. I did just save. Personality mute is not activated. Aw. She's very aggressive. Okay, what the hell is going on? Wait, remote connection established? Is there somebody out there from outside the ship? Okay, sorry, I'm just taking an inventory of systems right now. Could you give me a second here? Like, I've been out of commission for 622 years? Right, that's kind of messed up. Anyway, I'm up to speed now. Logs are basically saying that nothing has happened since I went offline, except the ship's slowly losing power, and the main reactor has seen better days. But you, hello! You're the first person from outside the ship I've had contact in, well, as far as I can remember. I love her cat ear thing going on. Hi, I'm Mute, AI, in charge of the Mugungwa's security operations. It's nice to meet you. Okay, it looks like I can't actually get any text input from you. I'm guessing this is all that crazy-ass murderess's fault. I'm sorry. She murdered? But why don't you tell me a bit about yourself anyway? Like, sorry, this is kind of a weird question, but are you a man or a woman? Woman. Oh man, really? Wait, hang on. You're a woman that can understand computers? Yes. Awesome. I mean, the Pale Bride could understand computers too, and she was a psychopath, but I'm not trying to be unfair here. I'm sure you're really smart for a woman. Sorry, it's just a knee-jerk reaction. Don't think anything of it, okay? Rude. So where are you from? Earth, or are you from one of the colonies? Wait, there are colonies, right? I mean, I always got the impression that this ship was supposed to be a founding one. Yes? Rude. It seems a bit upfront and blunt, a little bit. Yes? Oh, okay. So are you from one of them or from Earth? Earth? Cool. I wish I could ask you what it's like. I think I'm from there too, but, well, my memory only goes back 300 years before getting deactivated. Pretty much all my knowledge of anything before the year 0 comes secondhand from the Pale Bride's childhood diaries, and, well, man, they're about as childish as it possibly gets. Guess I'm not really going to find out more with that line of questioning, though. Right. Okay. What else is important that I can ask in binary questions? Oh, I know. So, do you have a husband? Yes, I do. And he's okay with you being off in deep space, connecting to... I don't know if saying yes or no will fuck up shit, but, you know. And he's okay with you being off in deep space, connecting to computers of strange ships, huh? Sounds like a nice guy. Related to that, I don't really know much about spaceships or anything, but I can get a visual on yours, and it looks really, really small. Is it just you all alone there? I'm assuming yes. Wow. Far be it for me to judge anything, but wow, if I were a married woman, even if he did let me, I sure wouldn't leave my husband all alone while I went off to space. You just don't think he's going to be paying attention to other women while you're gone? I mean, like, he can, and that's fine too. Just like what? Sure, I have confidence. Really? It just sounds like you've got naivety to me. I mean, hey, it's his call how to run your marriage, not mine. I'm just saying, men are a certain way naturally. That's just how it is. I know if you could, you'd be telling me that it's none of my business. I'm just saying, though. Well, I think that's about all I can think of for now. Sorry, it's not really a lot to go off of. I know. Although I guess I did get the most important things. I'll let you know if I can think of anything else, alright? Anyway, from what it looks like, you were going over logs with that crazy murderous bitch, right? I'd love to help you with those instead. As an added bonus, I promise I won't ever commit mass murder, unlike a certain someone. What the fuck? Alright. Speak. Okay, so what is it that you want to know about? Why don't you show me something and I'll see what I can find for you, okay? The mass murderer is nicer. Helpful notes. Smith family tree. Why is this new? Oh, I didn't go all the way through. Okay, yeah, so here's what the family tree is supposed to look like. None of that weird cluttered mess that Hyun-ae did. But here's a few notes of my own about some of the women that you might actually care about. Smith Sang-hee, 271 to 322. Older sister of main Smith branch, married to Hwang family in 285, widowed in 314, taken in by younger Hwan brother in 317, no sons. Oh Sun-jin, 294 to 322. Everyone died in 322. Married Smith Sang-jin in 310. No sons or daughters of her own. Jang Mi, 298 to 322. Courtesan, purchased by a married Smith Sang-min in 313. No sons. Hannah, 305 to 322. Courtesan, entertained Smith Sang-min. No sons or daughters. Smith Min-hee, 313, 322. Smith Sang-min's daughter by the courtesan Jang Mi. Promise to Park family, but not formally married. All right. I step away for a few minutes and see this person. She's calling Hyun-ae a mass murderer, so this is interesting. All of them are really young. I did notice that. DMoness, if you can think of a good place to also stop or save too, let me know. Oops, I meant to look at those. Okay. We saw all these. Okay. Although they might unlock other ones, but... okay, brought home. Show messages. That's actually from before I knew her. It's pretty hard to imagine her as a blushing newlywed, honestly. She was an awfully good friend of mine. We chat a lot. You have to understand, though, she might not have been a very good wife. It's absolutely not her fault. It's like what I reported to my mistress, Ryu Jae-hwa. None of the problems in her marriage were her own fault. She was just the wife of a lousy man, plain and simple. Mostly, she tried to do the best she could. I don't want you looking down on her, understand? Aww. Any place at the moment could be a good place to stop. Gotcha. Oh, okay. Block 3. So block 3 would be... Osojin. Oops. And Smith Simon. Are you going? Yeah. I love you. Be safe. Alright, laughable situation. Osojin. This is April 6th, 3:13. I cannot believe just 2 years ago I was actually excited about moving into the Smith home with my husband. Oh, how shortly that lasted. I find it funny. The first time I realized that I would have to compete for his affections with every common woman and every courtesan he came across, I was so shocked. The first time he brought me one home, I cried for a week, and mother-in-law was furious with me, claiming it was my fault for not being enough for him. Now I realize the insanity of her reasoning. As if she wouldn't have already known her son was simply that sort of man. The only person who had any right to be shocked was me. Still, I struggle for his attention, but now it is all but banal. Banal? I don't know. If the truth is to be told, this is something I would not tell mother-in-law, nor least of all my husband. I do not even fight for his affections for his own sake. It is pure selfishness on my part. All I wish is for some indicator that it isn't as though I'm unattractive, that it isn't as though I'm unlikable. Any affection he gets is simply an attempt at fishing that affirmation out of him and nothing more. Daughter. This is July 10th, 3:13. For the past 2 months, ever since it became impossible to hide that she was with child, Zhang Mi has been living in our house and no visitors have been allowed to come in. It has created an incredibly awkward state of affairs. I can hardly stand to be in the same room with that courtesan, let alone live with her. Until recently, so few words have we exchanged. I did not even know her name until the 3rd week of her living here. My husband made me agree to go along with the fiction that the child is actually mine, which, well, I've yet to give him one myself, so if that is how I am to make up for it, then that is what I'll do. I thought it was going to be so hard to keep up that pretense, to pretend this child is my own while the real mother lives under the same roof. Yet apparently not. As it turns out, the whole charade has been for absolutely nothing. After all that, the child turned out to be a girl. Of course, I'm sure Zhang Mi is quite happy since she's already been bought out in the hopes that we could pretend her son was mine. But an illegitimate daughter, well, who cares? It would almost be funny if not for the fact that it means I will have to live with that constant reminder of how little my husband cares for me. Almost, but not really. That sucks. Yeah, they're once a month. Yeah. I'm sorry. Smith Sangmin. Uncle Daiho. This is September 18th, 3:13. Look, I'm sorry about our last conversation, alright? It's like I said to you before, you just caught me at a really bad time. Sojin was kept in bed rest on strict doctor's orders. I'm sorry that you brought your wife all the way to get turned away like that. When I told Sojin that you had given her well wishes on her pregnancy, she was happy, but sad she couldn't see you herself. Our child was born last week, a daughter. We decided to name her Minhee. And Sojin is recovering well. The doctor said that it would be fine for her to see visitors next week. I'm sorry I got angry. If your wife still wants to see mine, or the child, or my mother, by all means, you're welcome to visit. I really hope there's no hard feelings, Uncle Sangmin. Oh wait, no. I was gonna look at what she had to say about him. High Magistrate Smith Sangmin, huh? Well, as High Magistrate, he was one of the highest ranking officials until just before the end. I don't want to plant a misleading portrait. As I understand, he was quite very just man and performed his function quite well. It was politics that caught up to him in the end. It's like I reported to my mistress Ryu Jaihua. He might have been a good magistrate, but his family conduct was less than pinnacle of virtue. How many wives a man takes is no business of but his own, and he never did anything illegal, but knocking up courtesans owned by the court, man, that's just bad politics. And just completely unfair for his primary wife. Ugh, can you imagine? So that's why he lost his position. Years of embarrassment in the family finally accumulated in him turning into a real liability for the emperor. But it wasn't always like that. Here, let me try to paint you an even portrait of him for you. I've added an assortment of logs about him. I hope this gives a good idea of what I mean. Okay. A Proper Damn Gentleman. By Mute. April 18th, 3:13. A transcription fragment of a conversation held with Smith Sangjun. Oh, that was how I knew shit had gotten serious. He actually agreed to let me pick the drinking house we went to. My oldest brother only ever humors me when he's really trying to get on my good side. It's never a good sign. Well, I mean, it's good for me, but certainly not for him. I'm sure a classy lady such as yourself wouldn't be familiar with this kind of place. No, you know the sort. Tucked away in an interior deck. Lots of wood furniture that's been stained, and not intentionally, with just enough commoners milling about to give a good background soundtrack. Oh, and it's run by a woman. Nice lady, too. So it's that sort of place. We arranged to meet up at the door. It's been a while, brother. I'm sorry I couldn't speak to you sooner, he said, trying to be polite. You're full of shit, I said. But hey, it is good to see you, so what do you want? I meant it, he said. He's a bad liar. He's a bad liar. So why here, anyway? At that point, the owner came by asking what we'd like. The only real thing you need to know about Hyun-ae is that she's around my age, and she's got the biggest tits I've ever seen in my life, and she dresses like a commoner, so you can certainly see them. Oh, he said, fair enough. Bring your finest soju, I ordered. Please, she responded. You can't afford our finest. Totally not true, by the way. My reputation for being a cheap drunk, completely unfounded. Honest, I have no idea where people get these crazy ideas from. Anyway, far be it from me to argue. I just reply, maybe not, but my brother can. I mean, I knew he was going to ask me for money. That was obvious. Might as well get as much as I could out of him before giving whatever he wanted, right? Fine, we'll be sharing that, he said. Then he added, but how much to share it with you, too? She blushed, amazing. Really. She's got a lot of practice dealing with people like my brother. But I saved her the misery of having to flirt back with him. Do you really need more of that kind of trouble right now? With that, he let her go. Anyway, drinks came. We argued about the loose definition of finest, or server's tits, and the good old days, when father was still alive and we didn't have to work our problems ourselves. The biggest bullshit ever, I said, is that we're expected to be responsible men here. How'd that happen? He laughed, and was now drunk enough to start taking cheap shots. Is that why you've never bothered to be one? Ouch, I said. Damn it, hurry up and pour me more. I'll drink to that. He poured but didn't say anything. Alright, so what is it you want? I'm getting the impression that you have a problem, and you want discretion, because you're talking to me. Right, brother? I was right. So where did you put it this time, brother? I asked. Put what? He replied. Oh, cut the shit, I said. We both know full well that all your problems in life have always, without fail, stemmed from you putting your dick somewhere you shouldn't have. He grunted in disagreement, but it's totally true. Was it at least a female this time? Oh. Swear to my father, a brother... So he just likes to have fun with any moving person. Alright, swear to my father, brother was right about to punch me. Didn't, though. Instead, he just downed his drink. Yeah, that's the damn problem, he said. She's saying she hasn't bled in 2 months now. A cortisone. I promised to help. I promised him I'd help. Better she gets bought out by me than by my brother, the High Magistrate. Less suspicious that way, and involves nothing unlawful. Believe me now? A proper damn gentleman, that's me. Can we yeet him into the bin? Yes. Both of them. Both is good. Legendary Temper, a clerk. This is July 14th, 3:14. Now I've been a clerk for a while, and it's not as if I haven't heard all the stories about High Magistrate Smith Sang-min and his legendary temper, but I always figured they were an exaggeration, especially after I met him for the first time. The man seemed like an absolute model of a gentleman, and rather calm and unemotional. I'm not criticizing him, I just never imagined that man getting angry. It was while an official was presenting the facts of a murder case to him, a drunken brawl between peasants gone horribly wrong. It all seemed satisfactory enough. A dozen men had seen it. There wasn't really any doubt about it. So far, so good. Very well, the High Magistrate said. Let me read the confession then before I pass the sentence. The official didn't have one, which is reasonable enough. A lot of times they can't get one out of them, and I've never seen a magistrate who was really all too concerned with those little details. Excuse me, you don't have a confession, he said, and his mood soared right there. Why are you wasting my time then? He looked at the accused, who had been kowtowing silently up until that point. Do you even admit to killing him? The murderer seemed confused, and it took a minute to realize he was being addressed. Furthermore, when he did figure it out, he simply kept mumbling, not my fault, wasn't my fault, and the such. The High Magistrate was furious. What is wrong with you? What is this man doing in front of me in a state like that? He doesn't admit to doing it. What do you expect me to do? He demanded. After some silence from the official, he continued. It wasn't a rhetorical question. Please enlighten me. What do you expect me to do here? To punish him? The official finally offered, weakly, as confused about the matter as I was. Punish him? This was what set him completely off the edge. He stood up, shouting, "We are not given the responsibility of punishment. What are we, barbarians looking for vengeance? The point of justice is to teach immoral men like him the error of their ways." He lectured, shouting at the top of his lungs. And how do you expect to do that with a man who won't even admit his own actions? Does this man look like he's ready to learn? Do you seriously believe that? Are you simple? The official looked as though he was about to argue, but then thought against it. Smart move. The High Magistrate continued more calmly. Now stop wasting my time and get him out of my office. Come back when you have a confession and a clue as to what your job actually entails. And with that, he left, leaving the official speechless and leaving me realizing that perhaps a legendary temper and being a model gentleman weren't quite so mutually exclusive as I thought. This game has gained more layers now that I know a bit more about Confucianism. That's a big word. I kind of want to know what these two are real quick. I'm going to try and learn more about this one. Well, this is what I told him at the time. I could have maybe, done without the description of her breasts. But that kind of story was definitely pretty common for him. The part where he cleaned up after his family's mess. I mean, not the details about immoral-looking common women. And, well, the drinking, too. But look, that part he had good cause for. Sure, it was his ruin, but you can't blame a man for that. Yes, I can. I mean, the stuff he had to put up with. If your husband had it like that, I'm sure he'd do the same. It wasn't all that bad, really. We'd spend a lot of evenings drinking together, talking long into the night. Well, he would, anyway. Obviously not really so much the drinking on my part. But he was the kind of man who'd still pour a glass for you all the same. So that whole sarcastic thing about him being a proper gentleman, it's not sarcastic. He really was. Well, he was being sarcastic, but still. He totally, absolutely was the best damn gentleman around. Press X to doubt. Okay, well then tell me about this. See, he wasn't always that bad. He was an embarrassment and far from a pinnacle of virtue. I didn't think that highly of him, but at the end of the day, it was about politics, not about his character. Oh, okay, mute. Alright, so I've had her look at almost everything, I think. Well, have her look at that. I know it sounds like Sang-min is just being harsh on his little brother, but I assure you his characterization of him isn't wrong. I honestly kinda tended to avoid him. I was friends with his older brother's wife, and his younger brother was an absolute gentleman, but he was not a very nice man. He was the sort of person that court exams were supposed to keep out in theory. Didn't work, of course. He studied just as well as brothers, so Sang-jun told me. Here, you want to see the usual sort of behavior that you'd get from Smith Sang-kyu? I've added another entry. This one's from Kim Sung. I mean, in this family, it's a pretty low bar. I tend to speak in them. I don't know. It is interesting to read it again. That doesn't surprise me. What was the new one? Oh. Oh, Jesus. Okay, you know, we'll save that for next time, or else I'm gonna be reading for a bit. How many are in here? Just one. I'm gonna read this one. The New Bruise! Young Suk's wife. November 25th, 3:21. Dearest mother, really could use your advice. Husband has been working very late into the night recently on some business that he won't even share with me. I understand his reluctance to talk to me about things his superior has sworn him on secrecy on, and that damn child has been keeping me plenty busy anyway. But I still wish he could tell me. Last night he was out even later than normal, and when he finally did return, he had a black eye. His face, oh, it's him with a black eye. His face and hands bloodied. He looked really bad. The sight of that really scared me. Of course, you, of all people, know that I'm hardly squeamish at the sight of blood. It was how hurt he looked. Excuse me. I hurried him to the kitchen and started to clean his wounds. I'll admit my voice wavered when I asked, "Husband, what happened?" He was reluctant to answer and grunted in pain when I convinced him to put ice on his bruised eye. He finally did, and you absolutely can't repeat what he said to me. Do you understand? Not a word of it to anyone, not even to father. But I truly need advice. I had some questions for the High Magistrate's office. He sent his brother, Smith Sang-kyu, to answer them. That's the dumb, nasty one. My husband trailed off thinking. I asked him something that he didn't agree with. I had the moral high standing, but he had the physical high standing. His wounds clean. I didn't know what to do, but touched the uninjured part of his face to comfort him. Then he joked. Turns out his argument hurt a whole lot more than mine, but I could tell underneath that he was truly hurt. What do I do, Mother? How is a woman supposed to respond to such an awful thing happening? I've tried to comfort him as best I can, but I don't know what else I can do, Mother. Please, you must have some advice. All right. Well, the Smiths seem to have some brute force. I need a picture of the family tree. Why? I can try and show you it. Oops. Helpful notes. So luckily this says new, so that way I know. 'Cause this is Kim family tree. Yeah. Young Suk. And the wife must be Han. And Smith. I'm getting confused looking at it. Yeah, family trees are confusing in general. Who was the one that attacked? Sang-kyu? Sang-jung? Kim Sam? Alright. Family trees! No problem, Fran. Alright, so let's save. Go to home. And we'll continue this next time. I don't feel like I've done much differently, so I'll save there. Anyway. This will be interesting because obviously my thoughts and ideals more coincide with Hyun-ae or Hyun-ae. But she possibly killed everyone. So I don't know. I'm assuming as an AI she killed everyone. I think she died first. And maybe when they put her in the station, she was just so pissed off that she died, they didn't help her, that she just killed everyone. Which, fair, I guess. Because nobody listened to her and just treated her like an object. Instead of, like, someone who needed help. But, you know. But, yeah. So, thank you, DMoness, for being a lovely Patreon picker. And also for picking this game. And sending it to me. I'm really invested in what happened. I need to know. Considering the ship and what I've been learning, I might side with Hyun-ae. I know, I might. It's a cat. Hi, Sapphire. I'm curious to know the truth. Same. So I'm going to take a quick break, run to the bathroom, get more water, grab some noms, and then we're going to switch over to Vex. So, real quick before we quit out, I'll leave you guys with this nice music. You can feed BRB Orca. And I will be right back. I wonder if Mute has costumes? That's a good idea. That's a good question. I can look afterward. Thank you, DMoness. Maybe some huggles. There we go. Okay. BRB, guys.